just so happens I went too long.
It's your fault.
I had to explain the call to confession. It's like it's a whole sermon in itself. So
it's okay.
So yeah, so we're having 45 minutes and then lunch. So I'm sure John Sexton already started. So
yeah, so lunch. You finished the song.
Well, what do you call in Thai อาหารฝ่ายวิญญาณแล้วก็มีอาหารฝ่ายร่างกาย
Spiritual food.
Yeah.
oh,
So it's okay to eat.
This is our lunch.
Yeah, this is our lunch.
Yeah.
Spiritual
physical food.
that's right.
spiritual food.
We have physical lunch after,
Yeah.
Right.
as usual.
Yeah.
All right, that's great.
Yeah, because we wanted, chill and digest.
Gracious God, we thank you for this time that we have today for Sunday school. Feed us with your word, Lord God, spiritually, as we also prepare to have physical food later in physical fellowship. But Lord, at this time we just concentrate on whatever you need to tell us by your Spirit. Praise in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So 45 minutes, I'll see if I can do that. So today we're going to talk about the Psalms. Anyone enjoy the Psalms? Anyone enjoy reading the Psalms? You like it?
I used to read five, what do you call it, five Psalms a day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that on the Bible study back when I was living in Texas at the time. We went to the Vietnamese church and we passed the day and we wrote us advice like read 5 Psalms a day. So I think it's like 150.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you get to finish it, with 5 Psalms a day. At some point you finish
So that's like,
at a certain time.
that's like, well, if you read 5 Psalms, that is like 30, take about 30 days to read 5 Psalms.
My math is bad. So 150,
Yeah,
5,
about 30 days.
So it's good, and and I'm sure a few of you like or enjoy reading the Psalms. As
It's
well.
hard for me to keep focus.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's like almost like similar to each chapter.
Similar.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good observation.
That's like Matthew, they have like the story,
Yeah.
but Psalm is like keep
Psalm
going
It's just
on
a
and
collection of
Yeah.
things.
Mhm.
He's up for 150.
I tried
150 times.
I tried to read it like straight to the end, but I stopped at like 30.
That's pretty good though, 30.
To me,
Yeah, that's pretty
I have to
good.
change.
Yeah. So and as you can tell, these are prayers and hymns. Aren't a lot of praise songs? Didn't they get it from the Psalms? I'm sure you.
Actually, the Psalms when I went attend Mishwa, when they didn't read it, they sing it. Actually, all of these are the songs.
I
Yeah,
remember the ones better that I've sung
Yeah.
before.
yeah, they sing every one of them. They don't just
Yeah.
read it.
I
just
like
they
it
read
better in song, actually.
And you can do responsive reading with the Psalms. That's all arranged in the Presbyterian worship. It's all already segregated as to which one is from God, which one is from the congregation. So it's very interesting. It's well known, most beloved in the Old Testament. It's more interesting reading that than Leviticus or any other, Old Testament book. And it's so popular that we've all seen those Psalms appended to those little New Testament books. I don't know if you've seen those things. Those are popular in hospitals. They give away these Bibles, and it's just New Testament and Psalms. So it's very useful because it's used for worship, for meditation, for things. But it's also misunderstood and misused. So my goal today is to just go through how do you interpret Psalms? How can it be? What can we add? What else do we know about it to make it useful for us, or more useful for us? I mean, as is, it's already pretty good. I'm not saying it's not good, but how do we improve on that based on what we know about the Psalms? The issue there is, as Christians, we think the Bible is God's word. It's God's word to us. But the Psalms are a little different. They're prayers and hymns. These are words from the people spoken to God or about God. But they're also God's word somehow. So these are, these aren't directly coming from a prophet, or from an apostle. It's coming from other people. You can say David, for example, but you see there's other individuals like, how do we praise God, the Lord is my shepherd. So somehow that's also God's word, not just God speaking to the people. Also, you can see that the Psalms, they're not necessarily propositions. They're not, thou shalt not do this, or what is God's command. They're also not stories, right? They're not the Gospels. The Gospels, they're easier to read, like what you said, right? It just moves forward, you know what's going on. So they're not that. So they're not mainly for teaching doctrine. They're not for ethics. Instead, the Psalms help us express ourselves to God and to consider God's ways. And Psalms, because of that, it expresses joys and sorrows, success, failures, hopes, regrets. So it's a lot of emotions. It's how we express ourselves to God, which is different than the other type of writings. And what I'm saying is, Psalms are frequently misunderstood and misapplied, and not everything is easy to follow or apply. But somehow, Psalm 23 is very popular. Why is that the case? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Yes.
What do you mean by misunderstood?
Oh, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah. But somehow, I'm gonna say for Psalm 23, it's not, people somehow like it, people love it, it's easy to understand. Why is that?
And identify more. The others.
Some of the others are harder.
Yeah, I don't identify with them. I don't get it.
And the Lord is a shepherd, taking care of sheep.
Take care of you.
We understand that, it's easy to understand. So we're gonna go the next page. It says that, but how do we interpret it? There's actually different kinds of psalms, and a lot of them are actually negative for the most part, and expresses just grief, sadness from the speaker. The problem is, how can we use that for church? Or are those things just for private use? Have you ever read those psalms? Like, they're very sad, they're very upset. They're probably not popular. Also, some of the psalms tell the history of Israel and God's blessing. Now, is that just for back then, or does it apply to us? So that's the question. There are psalms that predict the Messiah, or tell what's good about wisdom or about kings. But the only king now is the king of Thailand, right? Or king on earth. So it's a different time, a different era. But today, how do we apply that? Now we go to an interesting psalm. It's about, part of it is the desire that the infants should be dashed against the rocks. Like, O daughter of Babylon, doomed to be destroyed, blessed shall he be who repays you with what you have done for us. Blessed shall he be who takes your little ones and dashed them against the rocks. Now, that's a song. That's probably not the most popular song. It's like, it's like a baby. It's like journey dashed against the rocks. Ooh. What kind of a picture is that? And that is God's word. So it's like, what do you say? You know, the writer is wrong, or you know, does God promote that? So all I'm saying is these are sort of issues that come up. You know, there's a lot of songs where there's not a lot of issues, and that's nice, but there's stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, to understand the song, we need to understand what it is, you know, what kind of types there are, and how they function. We need to know that they are musical poems. That's why they're sung. It's good that they're sung. Much of the language is emotional, emoted. So it's not doctrine, it's not what they teach about stuff, but it's all about expression. And we're not supposed to overinterpret it by finding special meanings or every word or phrase. So it's meant more to express things to God. I'm going to go through just a few things, and part of it I'm like, you know, I don't want to confuse you more, but just to be quick on this one, like even in a verse, you know, it says the heavens declare the glory of God, and then the next line is the skies proclaim the work of His hands. So it's actually just repeating what is said in a different way, you know, because it's very artistic. So it's like poetry, you know. This reinforces that, and then day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they display knowledge, which is, they just change the day to night, but as you can see, the thought is similar, right? Like the heavens are declaring God, you know, the stars. This is the sun, and these are probably the stars. You know, they tell us that there is a God. You know, they're declaring the knowledge of God, and God is revealed in His creation through the heavenly bodies. So when you read Psalms, part of that is you have to notice that there's parallelism, you know, because of the poetry, in terms of how it goes. So that's just one tip on that.
All of them?
Not all of them, but a lot of
Just
them.
that one.
Yeah, a lot of them they do, because it's part of the way the Hebrew people did poetry, songs. So as musical poems, they're not meant to be read in the same way as letters or the law, and they're intended to appeal to emotions, feelings, and get a response from us. You know. And I'm not saying there's no doctrine, it's just not systematic. There's no, you know, it comes from people with doctrine, but that's not the purpose.
It's not organized.
Yeah, and that's not the purpose. They don't check or dot their I's. All they're concerned about is what they're saying to God. Any questions so far?
I have different about 19. If you go back to 19:1. This I'm talking about that they haven't declared the glory of God, and they're what I have in King James and
Okay. Yeah.
and that one is that the firmament, so the earth, right, on the land that show His handiwork. It's not the sky, so kind of keep these two different. Yeah, one English Standard Version.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The other one
There's
is King James.
King James.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's bound to be differences. Okay, any other questions so far? I don't want to go too fast either. Otherwise I go hyper speed and I'm like, oh no, I lose everybody. Okay, if there's none, I just want to say Psalms has certain features. They actually come in different types. And, you know, these types aren't labeled. No one labeled them. They just figured it out. You know, by reading every psalm, they go, oh, this is a psalm of lament. You know, because the psalm keeps saying, why, God? They're all complaining. They're all saying, what's going on? So that's lament. Majority are laments, the Psalms. So as you read the Psalms, it's like, you know, it's a good break when you see a Thanksgiving psalm, because otherwise you see complaint after complaint after complaint. So you actually need to know the type if you want to use it for your purposes. You know, that's why during the services, they'll probably do Thanksgiving songs, other hymns, but not laments somehow. Although it could be a good occasion to use that too. I mean, what would that be, like an occasion? Somebody passes away. That's possible. So that's what I'm saying. You know, it depends on what kind of song they are. That's what you're going to use. Otherwise, if you use a song for a funeral that's, you know, very happy, very royal sounding, that would work.
Yesterday, I have on my way to the revival, I listened to it on the radio. They have a live of
Anaheim Stadium.
Anaheim Stadium. Yeah.
What's it called?
Live stream.
Harvest.
Yeah.
The harvest.
Harvest. Yeah. Harvest
Oh, yeah,
Crusade.
Harvest.
The Harvest Crusade. Yeah. I heard the lady came up and she's gonna perform a song. And look, have you heard of heavy metal, right? So when they sing, they're screaming like somebody gonna die. So she has
Song
that.
of lament.
Yeah, she has that. All three songs that she sang. Oh boy, that's like wow.
Heavy metal style?
Yeah, heavy metal. Yeah, yesterday.
Is that a conference?
Conference, yeah, it was conference.
So it's called SoCal Harvest.
Yeah.
2015. Yeah.
Is that at the Anaheim?
Anaheim Stadium,
Stadium?
yeah, they have live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like a third day before the concert on
Thursday or
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah, so it's a good deal to go. I thought I could go, but I didn't do that. But anyway, yeah. So that illustrates, you know, how, you know, a different song could be used depending on the occasion. So a royal psalm, meaning a psalm about God's kingship. It's not specifically designed for a wedding. And then number 3, psalms have different patterns too. Earlier I told you, you know, there's parallelism. One line would reinforce the first one. There's also something like an acrostic. That means, in my prayer meeting, last time I said, an acrostic we could use is blessed, B-L-E-S-S. Or when you pray, you can also use ACTS, A-C-T-S. For the Hebrews, they also use acrostics. They have letters at the beginning which stand for, you know, which would help them memorize the whole psalm. Psalm 119, isn't that a very long psalm? It's actually arranged by their alphabet. You know, the first letter of every line starts with a letter of the alphabet from the top to the bottom. So it has a certain pattern.
That's the longest one.
And part of that is to help them to memorize. And who knows Psalm 119 by memory?
176 verses.
So
Yeah, the longest one.
and then Psalms need to be read as a whole because it's easy to be taken out of context. You can't just read a short thing and without knowing the whole thing. I mean, it's actually better to do that. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. You can, of course. You can read just a verse. For example, Psalm 105:34, it says, "He spoke and the lotus came, grasshoppers without number." If you just read that,